Welcome, my name is Bry'Anne. Thank you for joining me, whether it's the first time or, one of many. Glad that you could make it here with me today. So for today's class, it's going to be kind of a follow-up to that little 10-minute warm-up bow and arrow push and pull practice. If you've followed along with that one already, perfect. You're going to see some things that are familiar, and we're going to scale it up a little bit. If not, totally fine, no problem. Follow along and you'll get the hang of it sooner than later. So as always, make sure that you're listening to your body. Make everything work for you. If something doesn't feel right, if you have an injury or something of that nature that you're working with, go ahead and back things off, make things more intense, use some support, some props, blocks, pillows, what have you, whatever you need. Make your practice yours, okay? We'll go ahead and get started on our mats. So toward the front, maybe right in the center, we're gonna start in a kneeling position, my favorite. Make sure that you untuck those pinky toes if they're curled underneath you. And then right away, I want you to become aware of what's happening in your body. So I want you to notice your tailbone. If it's kicked far back behind you, I want you to think about pointing it straight down to the floor. So if you're in this big tilted back position, I want you to find something that's a little more neutral. It might even feel tucked under if you're always hanging out back in an anterior pelvic tilt. And then notice your rib cage. So sometimes we have a tendency to flare our ribs. We're thinking about getting tall and expansive. It's not a bad thing, but I want you to knit them in. And our pelvis and our ribs work together. So when you tuck through that tail, your ribs might pull in automatically, okay? Then roll those shoulders down away from your ears and draw your chin in ever so slightly as if you're giving yourself a slight double chin, and find some length up through the crown of your head. Gonna take a nice deep breath in, let your belly expand in all directions. And as you release, allow everything to soften and come back towards midline. And let's take another deep breath in. And out. And once more, deep breath in. And out. On our next breath in, we're going to shift our hips forward, bring our arms up and overhead. And as we exhale, hands come parallel to the floor, sit your hips back to your heels. Nice, we're gonna do this again. Take a breath in, lift it up, reach long through your fingertips, keep that tailbone pointing down, low ribs drawn in, and out. Sit your hips down, and once more, breath in, and a breath out. Nice. On your next breath in, we're gonna rise up and stay here. So you exhale, bend through your elbows, cactus through your arms. You can open up through those ribs. You can kick that tailbone back behind you. Breath in, rise it back up, come back through center, and out. Open everything up. And one more time, breath in, and a breath out. This time we're gonna circle those arms out in front of us, pull your low ribs in, find a little tuck through your tail, and sit your hips down. Breath in, arms rise, cactus through those arms, open everything up, and then bring your arms out in front as you draw everything back to a close toward midline, and sit your hips back towards your heels. And once more, breath in, rise up, breath out, open. Follow that circle around, draw everything back in towards center, sit your hips back, and then come right on back up. This time we're gonna bring our arms directly out in front of us. So you take a breath in, your left fingertips are gonna circle up and over, and then reach back behind you. Be mindful of those low ribs. Don't let them kick open too far, pull them in. And then bring it back out in front. Big arcing circle around. Same thing with the right. Follow fingertips with your gaze. Open it up, reach back and behind. Let's bring it out in front once more. And to the left, arms rise up and reach behind, long, long line. Reach it up and over, and back out in front to meet the right. And once more, right side reaches up and over and comes back towards the front. Take a breath in, reach your arms up, open everything up as you cactus through those arms, close it off as you bring your hands out in front, shifting hips down toward your heels and coming right back up and bringing those arms out in front. We're going to add on. Let's inhale, left fingertips reach up and over towards the back of the room or towards behind us. We're going to take our right fingertips and bring them toward our left shoulder. So we're going to really push and reach through those left fingertips as we find a pull through the right side. So this right elbow is going to drive forward and maybe even a little bit back behind us. Your shoulder blades are thinking about squeezing together. So push, pull, and then circle these left fingertips up and over. So we're rounding through our back. We're kind of in a side bend. Your hips are going to sink down. Your hand is going to come down on the floor out in front of you. When that happens, your right elbow is driving up towards the ceiling. Shift forward, root down through those fingertips, and then open up through that right arm. Gaze can follow. Breath in here and a breath out as we circle our right fingertips over, reaching as long as we can, sinking our hips back toward our heels, gliding our fingertips back in to our knees. Let's take a breath in, come up and over. A breath out, open everything up. Bring those arms out in front, sit your hips down, and then come right on back up. Breath in and breath out, close, coming back to neutral, arms parallel to the floor. Doing the same thing on the right. So inhale, right arm reaches up and over, gaze follows the fingertips, and exhale, close it off. I'm going to do the left side. Inhale, open up, reach behind, and close it off. Now we're adding that push and pull. So right arm's going to come up and over, reach those fingertips back behind you as far as you can. Left fingertips come over toward our right shoulder. We're thinking about reaching, pushing with our right fingers, and pulling with the left side. So like we're drawing back the string of an arrow, okay? Bow and arrow. So as we pull, we're going to circle our right fingertips over. My hips are going to sink back. I'm creating lots of length along that right side body. Right hand's going to come down onto the floor. I shift forward, so I'm in this three-point single arm tabletop thing. Left elbow drives up toward our side body. You can reach that arm up toward the ceiling if that feels good for you. And then we're taking a big circle overhead with our left hand as we sink our hips back toward our heels. Fingertips are going to glide back toward our knees, and we're back to our starting position. Let's take a breath in, rise it up. A breath out, open everything up. Breath in, hands come out in front, sink your hips. And come on back up, reach your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, come back through that neutral position. I'm going to speed it up. Inhale, left arm circles up and over, reaches back behind us. Right fingertips to our left shoulder. Find your push, find your pull. Big circle sweep overhead. Left hand's going to land down. Right elbow drives. Right arm reaches. Shift your weight forward. Reach forward with your right fingertips, and then sink your hips back towards your heels. Chin comes in toward our chest. We're going to unravel, coming back up to our tall kneeling position. Breath in. Breath out, cactus through those arms. Circle it out in front. Sink your hips back towards your heels. And inhale, rise back up to standing. Reach those fingertips long. And exhale, hands come out in front. Nice. Let's inhale, right arm circles up and over. Find your reach. Left fingertips, right shoulder. Push and pull. Big circle around. Right hand grounds down on the ground. Shift your hips forward, drive your elbow up. Fingertips follow, maybe the gaze. I like to shift forward, reaching out in front with my left fingertips, and then sink those hips back toward your heels. We're really going to smooth this out now that we know it. So inhale, come on up high. Exhale, cactus those arms, open everything up. Circle it out in front, sinking hips toward our heels. And then inhale, rise back up. And exhale, arms parallel to the floor. Inhale, left arm circles. Exhale, right fingertips, left shoulder, and then right away, find your push and your pull, sinking the hips back. Left hand grounds down, shift forward, reach your right arm up and over. Exhale, reach out in front, sink your hips back toward your heels. Come on back up, right up into our tall kneeling. Breath in, breath out, open up. Sink the hips, arms forward, and then rise back up. Exhale, arms parallel to the floor, and inhale, right arm circles up and over. Find your push, find your pull, big circle around as we exhale. Right hand grounds down, shift it forward, three-legged tabletop, arm rises up, and big reach out in front of us. Shift your hips back. Once more, take a breath in, rise. A breath out, cactus. Follow the circle, sink your hips back. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, parallel. Windmill open. Find your push and your pull. Big circle sweep. Twisted table, breath in, breath out, close it off. Coming back up, high kneeling, arms rise. Cactus open. Coming right into our hip sink back position. Circle on up, come high. And exhale, arms parallel. Inhale, right arm opens. Push, pull, reach toward the shoulder. Sink the hips, big circle around. Revolved or twisted tabletop, reach left arms up. Big circle around, sink the hips toward the heels once more. Take a breath in, arms rise. A breath out, cactus and open. Arms come out in front. This time as you sink your heels down, or hips down to your heels, you can untuck your toes. Ooh, that was a lot with my toes tucked. You can let your hands come down, and then you can walk your fingertips forward, coming into a child's pose. Maybe you take a little sway, side to side, maybe little taps with the tops of the feet onto the floor. Maybe you've got to curl those toes up a little bit. Maybe you walk your hands over to one side and over to the other. Again, this is your practice. You've got options. Nothing has to look a certain sort of way. Really want to encourage you to explore. So make things feel good for you. So the next time that you come back through center, hands out in front, so we're going to inhale, come forward into a tabletop position. We're going to tuck our toes back under as if they haven't been there long enough, and then press down into the floor as we lift and hover our knees. We're going to shift our hips toward our heels for a bear pose. You might want to take a slight step backwards or walk your hands a bit more forward if you like a wider base. Let's take a breath in here, and as you exhale, begin to straighten through your legs. Breath in, go ahead and come back up onto the toes, bend your knees, and breath out, straighten. And one more time, breath in, and straight. Going to keep those legs straight or relatively straight. Might be a soft bend in your knees as we walk our hands back to meet our feet. As we do so, we're going to widen our base. So rock back onto your heels, toes turn out, rock forward onto your toes, heels turn out. And if I rock back to my toe or my heels one more time, toes out, this is perfect for me to lower my hips down into a malasana, a yogi squat. So we're not coming all the way down, not yet. We're still waking ourselves up. Let's straighten our legs back out. We're going to turn our heels in line with our toes, crown of the head down towards the floor, then come back up onto the balls of your feet, bring your heels in and sink those hips down. Gaze is going to go towards the top of your mat. Fingertips can be on blocks, or maybe your hands are flat on the floor. We're coming back through that forward fold, heels in line with our toes, and then shifting our heels in as we sit our hips down toward the floor. Maybe your hands come up, and we'll do this a few more times. Heels in line with toes as we fold it forward, waking up those hamstrings, and then heels turning in, bringing our gaze out in front, finding that length through our spine. Maybe you bring your elbows into the inside of your legs to encourage them to open up. And one more time, find that forward fold. And find your malasana, sit your hips down. Nice. Let's stay in this malasana for just a moment. So we want to be active here. Again, we're not just hanging out in our joints. We want to find a push down into the ground, lengthening up through the crown of our head. If you've got a big anterior pelvic tilt, I want you to tuck your tailbone under just a little bit. Muscles are working. Let's take a breath in. And exhale, hands come down, heels spin in line with toes. Nice. If you want to take a little shimmy, a little shake out, the muscles were burning a little bit. This feels good to me. And then we're going to heel toe our feet together. So rock up onto the balls of your feet, heels come in, rock back, toes in, heels in, and toes come in. Nice. As you take a breath in, we're going to roll up. So bend through those knees, round through your back. It's like you're reaching for something on the floor, letting each piece of your spine unravel one at a time. Shoulders roll back, and head is the last thing to come up. So in our standing position, I want you to notice the same things that we noticed in our kneeling position. Where's your tailbone? Is it kicked far out behind you? If that's you, point it down towards the floor. What's happening in your rib cage? Is it flaring? If that's you, knit them in. What's happening in your shoulders? Are they rounded forward? Let's give them a roll back. Where's your chin? Let's pull it in ever so slightly and find some length through the crown of your head. Nice. Let's take a breath in, rise up onto the balls of your feet, tippy toes, woo. And as you exhale, heels come down, cactus through your arms, open everything up. And let your hands come down by your sides, back to neutral. Let's do this again. Inhale, come up, tippy toes if you'd like. Exhale, open, heels down, gaze goes up, hands down by your sides. And one more time, inhale, rise up. Exhale, cactus, open everything up. Hands down by your sides. Nice. This time as we inhale and come up on those tippy toes, we're going to stop right here. So you exhale, heels come down, hands come out in front, parallel to the floor. Look familiar. Let's inhale, left arm reaches up and over, gaze follows. Exhale and close it off. Right side. Inhale, reach it up and around. Exhale, close it off. We're going to add on. Inhale, left arm reaches up and over. Find your reach, find your pull. So right fingertips, left shoulder, pull through that elbow, reach through those left fingertips, put a bend through your right leg. We're circling around, driving that left heel down into the ground. It's going to come a point where you feel like straightening your right leg. Let it happen. Bend through your left leg, left fingertips ground down, right elbow drives, right fingertips up toward the ceiling, gaze follows. We're going to circle that arm overhead, and we find ourselves back in our forward fold. Let's inhale, roll on up, soft bend in our knees, letting everything unravel. Arms are going to come up and overhead. Come up on those tippy toes. Exhale, cactus. Heels come down. Big circle around. We're going to come back up on those tippy toes. And exhale, hands come parallel to the ground. So inhale, left arm comes up and over. And exhale, back through center. Inhale through the right. And back through center. Let's do the same on the left once more. And bring it back. Now we're going to do our push-pull on the right. So right fingertips reach, left fingertips to our right shoulder. We're going to find that reach, find that pull. Big circle around. We're putting a bend through our left leg this time. Right heel grounds down. It's going to come a point where we square up to face the floor. When that happens, switch the bend in your legs. Drive your left elbow toward the ceiling. Left fingertips follow. Big circle around. And find your forward fold. Inhale, roll up. We're going to come right up onto those tippy toes. And exhale, arms parallel, heels down. Inhale, left arm circles. And exhale, right fingertips to the shoulder. Push, pull, bend through your right leg. Big circle around. Square yourself off. Switch the bend in your legs. Drive your right fingertips up toward the ceiling, and then a big circle around to find the floor. Let's inhale, roll it on up, smoothing this out as we go. Come up onto those tiptoes. Exhale, arms out in front. Gonna do the right side. Inhale, bring the arm up and over. Find your push and your pull. Bend through the left leg this time. Really reach through those right fingertips. Shift the bend or switch the bend in your legs. Left arm reaches up and over. Big circle around. Find your forward fold. Inhale, rise up. We're going to do this one more time. Each side. Come up on those tippy toes if you so desire. Exhale, arms out in front. Inhale, right into the left side. Left arm circles up and over. Right fingertips, left shoulder. Push, pull, bend through your right leg. Big circle around. Square it off. Switch the bend. Right fingertips reach. Circle around. Find yourself in your forward fold. Inhale, rise it on up. Reach your arms up nice and high. Come up on those tippy toes. And exhale, arms parallel, right side. Inhale, right arm circles over. Exhale, left fingertips, right shoulder. Big circle around, bending through our left leg this time. Finding yourself squaring to the floor, switching the bend in your knees, extending your left arm up and over, and then finding yourself in your forward fold where we will stay for just a moment. Let the crown of your head hang heavy down towards the floor. Maybe give it a nod, yes, and a shake, no. And from here, we're going to tense up on our fingertips, lift up a little bit. We're going to rock onto the balls of our feet, bending through our knees, coming through a little toe stand. We're going to walk our hands out in front of us, supporting our weight as we let our knees come down onto our mats. Continuing to walk our hands out in front, untucking through our toes, finding ourselves in a child's pose, forehead down to your mats. And same thing, you can find a bit of movement here. Maybe you just relax your forearms down, relax your forehead down to the floor. You can also bring your arms alongside your body, palms up, and let your shoulders just round across the tops of your knees. And this is where we're going to end our practice today. So you can pause, take a few deep breaths. If there's any other movements, positions that you want to explore before you go on with your day, feel free to do that. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. As always, I love to hear from you guys. If there's anything that you want to do in future classes, anything that you have questions about, any way that I can support you in your own personal practice, feel free to reach out to me. And you can also connect with me via Instagram. Handle is stm_yoga. Share some flows, some thoughts, some musings. Also, if you want to catch an in-person class, that is the place to find the schedule. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and until next time, take care of yourself.